Hey guys, welcome back to another new video. It's October, so I am dressing up. Can you guys guess who I am? Today we are going to be going over 7 of the worst sports incidents. And when I tell you that the last incident in this list inspired me to make this video, yes, I will get things wrong. Number 7. Uli Steck. On April 30th, Steck began climbing around 4:30 a.m. with a French climber named Yannick, last name here, I'm so sorry, who was attempting to climb Everest. When Yannick headed towards Camp 3, yes, there's 3 camps, 1, 2, and 3, because they're bland. Steck broke off to the right to climb Nuptse. He was last seen partway up the face around dawn by several Sherpas and expedition members around the valley. Approximately 980 feet or 300 meters below the summit, he fell an estimated 3,300 feet or 1,000 meters. What caused him to fall? We don't know, but his body would be discovered in the western CWM between camps 1 and 2. Number 2. Dale Earnhardt. Yes, everybody knows this person. Everybody knows that he passed. I didn't know how bad it was. If you knew, don't come at me. Thanks. On the afternoon of February 18, 2001, American stock car racing driver and team owner Dale Earnhardt was involved in the final lap collision in the 2001 Daytona 500, in which he crashed into a retaining wall after making contact with Sterling Marlin and Ken Schrader. He was pronounced dead at Halifax Medical Center a short time later. So, what's the cause of his death? The cause of his death was a basilar skull fracture, which was determined to have killed him instantly. Number 5. Frank Hayes. Frank was not a jockey and had never won a race before. Instead, he was a horse trainer and stableman. But Frank had this dream to become a jockey, and his employer, James K. Frayling, wasn't against the idea, but just told Frank that he needed to cut some weight. So Hayes would start an intensive exercise regimen to take off weight. Before the race, he was 142 pounds. And he shed over 10 pounds of weight and would be at 130. The horse that he would use, 20-1 outsider called Sweet Kiss, was owned by Miss A.M. Frayling. Sweet Kiss would later be called Sweet Kiss of Death, I believe, if I remember correctly. Hayes would pass away due to a heart attack during the race, and his body would remain in the saddle when Sweet Kiss crossed the finish line, winning by a head, making him the first and so far only jockey known to have won a race after death. People have theorized and speculated that the rapid weight loss that he did before the race could have attributed to his death. And the most crazy part is people didn't know that he died until Miss Frayling and race officials came to congratulate him after winning the race. Sweet Kiss was reported to have cantered to a halt a further 100 yards from the finish line, when the quote-unquote jockey slipped slowly over his mount's side, fell face first, and lay still. Number 4. Duke Koo Kim. On November 13, 1982, Kim would have a match against Ray Mancini. Ray believed this fight would be a war. The two went toe-to-toe for a good portion of the bout, to the point that Ray briefly considered quitting, which is insane. Kim would tear open Ray's left ear and puff up his left eye, and Ray's left hand swelled to twice its normal size. After the fight, Ray's left eye would be completely closed. By the later rounds, Ray began to dominate the ring, landing many more hits than Kim. In the 11th round, Ray buckled Kim's knees. In the 13th round, Ray charged him with a flurry of 39 punches, but had little effect. And to Into the 14th round, Ray charged forward and hit Kim with a right. Kim reeled back, causing Ray to miss with his left, and then Ray hit Kim with another hard right hit. Kim went flying into the ropes. His head would hit the canvas. Kim manages to rise unsteadily to his feet, but referee Richard Raines stops the fight and declares Ray the winner by TKO 19 seconds into the 14th round. So minutes after the fight was over, Kim collapsed into a coma and was removed from the Caesars Palace Arena on a stretcher and taken to the Desert Springs Hospital. At the hospital, he was found to have a subdermal hematoma consisting of 100 cubic centimeters of blood in his skull. Emergency brain surgery was performed at the hospital to try to save him, but Kim would pass away just 5 days after the bout. Number 3. Pedro Arroyo Jr. On March 20th, 2015, 10 years ago, so a decade, that's crazy, Pedro wrestled a tag team match, teaming with Manic against Rey Mysterio Jr. and Extreme Tiger at a show for the Crash promotion in Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. During the match, Mysterio used a head scissors takedown, which according to him was supposed to propel Pedro into the 619 position on the ropes, but for some reason he bumped and went onto the floor. Pedro returned to the ring, upon which Mysterio drop-kicked him in the shoulder again to set him up for the 619 as he landed on the middle rope. Mysterio bounced off the middle rope to perform 619, but did not hit either opponent as Pedro was already slumped over the middle rope and Manic ducked. When the match ended, various personnel went to Pedro, believing that he was just unconscious, nothing much, and was in need of medical help. Officials later brought him out of the ring. When paramedics arrived, Pedro was brought to the local Del Prado hospital where he was pronounced dead at around 1 a.m. on March 21st. So what happened? Pedro had passed away due to a cervical spine trauma, reportedly as a result of the drop kick by Mysterio Jr. that propelled him forward to the ring ropes, causing severe whiplash trauma that snapped his neck. The cause of death was later determined as cardiac arrest due to a cervical stroke caused by 3 fractured vertebrae. Pedro Jr. broke his C1, C2, and C3 vertebrae. The fractures took place at 2 different moments of impact, and Pedro died almost instantly. In the final 2. Number 2. Vladimir Smirnov. During the 1982 World Fencing Championships in Rome, Italy, in the team foil event, the 28-year-old world champion Vlad, ranked number 1 in the world, was fencing 27-year-old Matt Beer of West Germany, ranked number 2 in the world, on July 19th in the quarterfinals of the team event. The 2 fences initiated a simultaneous attack. Matt's full blade broke during the action, and the jagged, broken blade penetrated through the mesh of Vlad's fencing mask, through his left eye orbit, and into the frontal lobe of his brain. State-run television said he was quote-unquote clinically dead. A communique from the hospital said he was in a deep coma, was not responding to treatment, and had no brain reflexes. Vlad would pass away just 9 days later. And for the final one that, like I said at the beginning, inspired me to make this video, Gernot Reinstadler. During training for the Laberhorn race, while entering the final S-curve, traveling at top speed, had his weight too far forward, jumped too long, and went out of control into the plastic netting. His ski got hooked in the netting, and the force of the impact was enough to result in fatal injuries. Gernot suffered a significant pelvic fracture and severe internal injuries and bleeding. Gernot slid semi-conscious down the final slope to the finish area, leaving a 30-foot trail of blood in his wake. He was given oxygen and flown off the mountain by helicopter. So, In a short explanation, he was practically split in two. His pelvis was broken into two. Crazy. A comedian from the regional hospital at Interlaken, where Gernot received intensive surgery following the accident, said the racer's right leg had been almost torn off. Despite massive blood transfusions also after the operation, he died from severe bleeding in the pelvic area, the commute said. And that is going to do it. That last one, oh my god. Out of all the videos I've made, but Gernot and one other person that I've not made a video about because it's too graphic to even mention on YouTube, have traumatized me. Since I can't post it to YouTube, I can make that video and post it to Patreon, if enough people want to see that. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys like the 2 Halloween dress ups I'm gonna do this year. And I know there's like 3 Halloweens left, but y'all are gonna have to wait for like actual Halloween because coincidentally Halloween is on Friday, so I had something coming up with that. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any suggestions on what video I should make next, if I should just do one whole video on one of these people that I talked about, because I do want to mention that everyone I talked about, that is not the entire story. I will catch you all in my next video.